They told McCarthy after they had made the deal and, quote, just wanted to get it done. Close quote. Drama, 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 drama. LeSean McCoy, I don't like talking about Cowboys to any other person in the world besides you.
I wonder why that is.
Shady, you have an issue with Mike McCarthy being kept out of the loop as they traded for Trey Lance?
I do. How can you not? How do you put this team together, right? The Super Bowl-bound team that they talk about, which I think they have a lot of capabilities of doing. And McCarthy's not like a first-year head coach, a second-year head coach. He's won a championship.
Right, he's a proven.
Or am I tripping?
You're not tripping.
So you're telling me that you go out there and you trade for a quarterback, not a fourth down running back or a third down blocking back, not a backup left or right tackle, a quarterback.
Quarterback.
So to know that he didn't have no idea what was going on, I'm like, man, how can this team truly believe in their coach when the ownership don't believe in their coach? Because they don't have enough respect to go in there and tell you, hey, we're thinking about going to get Trey Lance. None of that. It was more of this, hey, we just traded for Trey Lance.
Yep.
I talked to you at the practice. Come on. I don't like that. So I'm very bothered by it. I have a lot of respect for Mike McCarthy.
Of course.
I truly do. He's done a lot in this league, right? And he has a good team that he put together. It just hurts me that his team or his ownership doesn't have the same respect like I do for him.
I'm with you.
Because in Philadelphia, we don't do them type of things. I better to say that.
No, I'm with you. And I tried to tell y'all yesterday that Jerry Jones is like Dak Tripp again. Because for you to come in here, right, Mike McCarthy came in, changed around the Green Bay Packers, won a Super Bowl. Came in, you got back-to-back 12-win seasons with the Dallas Cowboys. Mike McCarthy is going to be a Hall of Fame coach. He got more wins than a lot of these Hall of Fame coaches that's in the Hall of Fame. They're in the meetings. They are watching the film. They have scouts watching the film, not just on the Cowboys, but on other teams. Right? That's how you come out of preseason and you sign other players and all that. You have your scouts working for you. Yep. For you to just make this decision on your own, not get with your head coach to be like, hey, would this help our football team? Because Mike could have said, you know what? Hey, our third-string quarterback right now better than Trey Lance. We want to keep him. You don't know, and then you're just giving up a fourth-round pick and not coming in there to talk to the head coach, and the head coach knows exactly how he wants his football team to look, exactly what he needs for his football team to win football games. And you just come in as an owner saying, no, this is what we doing, and you ain't watching tape on Trey Lance, you ain't watching tape on the other guys we got, and you just making these decisions. This is a slap in the face to Coach Mike. Yeah. And Mike has proven to you that he knows what he's doing because he has you in the playoffs back-to-back years with 12 wins. So this is mind-blowing to me. He definitely should have said something to Coach Mike that at least, hey, we thinking about acquiring this guy to get Coach Mike's 2 cents.
Yeah, of course I have an issue with it, but I am 0% surprised.
No,
mind-blowing. This is Jerry ball. This is Jerry's team.
The right ball, Jerry.
It's always been this way. This is how it goes. The buck doesn't stop with the head coach. There's a reason why things have gone the way that they've gone in Dallas for almost 30 years. Who was there? Hall of Fame head coach when they was winning those Super Bowls. Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy don't play that. We know the history of this team. This is Jerry's say. It sounds crazy. It's crazy to think that not just your head coach, but the man who's going to be responsible for developing Trey Lance, a player that Kyle Shanahan, the quarterback whisperer, couldn't develop, and who is in charge of keeping this team together, wasn't in the loop and bringing in a player, not just a guy, but someone that another team that beats them every year spent 3 first-round picks and a third-round pick to bring in. It's nonsense, but I can't sit here and act like I'm surprised. This is how the Cowboys do business. The Cowboys are the best in the world at branding and making money. But you want to talk about Super Bowls? Forget Super Bowls. We don't need to talk about Super Bowls, Shady. Let's talk about NFC championship games. You want to talk about sustained success. You want to talk about developing players. I mean, this is a silly conversation to have. This is not happening in Philadelphia. This is not happening in Pittsburgh. This is definitely not happening in San Francisco. We know it's not happening in San Francisco.
The thing I think to me that's most frustrating, Joy, is like the Cowboys are on the precipice of actually winning more than they've ever won since the 90s, based upon the roster. What I want to see Jerry Jones do, if you're not going to consult with your head coach, Mike McCarthy, acquire a piece that will help the Cowboys win right now. I'll start in 2017 and I'll work my way to present day. 2017, middle of the season, the Philadelphia Eagles, they would go on to win the Super Bowl with the help of Jay Ajayi. You remember Jay Ajayi, running back for the Miami Dolphins. How did the Eagles acquire Jay Ajayi? With the 4th-round pick. Jay Ajayi ended up leading the Eagles in yards per carry en route to them winning the Super Bowl with the 4th-round pick. How the Cowboys just acquired Trey Lance with the 4th-round pick. When the Rams won the Super Bowl in the middle of the season, Odell Beckham will take you off waivers. Von Miller will take you via trade. You use those pieces to win a Super Bowl. Don't prepare for the future when you need to win in the present. And Mike McCarthy needs to win in the present. Many people will tell you to some degree he's on the hot seat. You've already vacated Kellen Moore. Dan Quinn is kind of like that proverbial coach in waiting if it's not Mike McCarthy. So I don't necessarily mind not getting the permission or approval of a head coach from if you're a general manager, but do it if you're getting a piece that wins now. Shady, you mentioned Howie Roseman. You know Howie as well as I do. Howie does not necessarily ask for permission from no man, in all honesty. But what Howie will do, he gonna give you a piece that you can use right here, right now. Howie's not getting picks for the future. Howie is getting players for today.
But I would say it's Howie's gonna show respect.
Yes.
Right, so even if he wants to get this player and he's gonna go get him, I'm sure he's gonna call a nigga in the office, hey, I'm thinking about this guy, and et cetera. And he probably already knew about it. I mean, I've been scouting him, we might need him for a team, and go get him. Not just, hey, we're gonna go get Trey Lance and that's it. And another thing is I'm thinking about, we're talking about as a head coach right now, but let's just peel the layers back. He's calling plays this year. He said it. I'm calling plays this year. So my thing is, if I'm gonna bring in a quarterback as a backup, Dak Prescott's the guy, Cooper Rush could probably be the number 2. But anything can happen in this game. We've seen anything, knock on wood for the young guys, anything can happen.
Sure.
So now, if I'm calling the plays as a coordinator, I want to utilize players in my scheme. How we know that he likes Trey Lance for his scheme? Think about that for a second. We just talking about the head coach. I'm talking about as a coordinator.
Hey,
if I'm calling plays, I want players that can play in my scheme. Okay, you can catch the ball. Okay, you can run. You can do. Yeah, but if you can't do that, I don't think so. And the owner goes against a player and brings him on my staff and on my team, and I don't use him, and I can't use him for my offense. Why would I want him?
And this right here, though,
crazy, man.
Is like a slap in the face to Coach Mike and everybody in the scouting department, right? Because at the end of the day, they go through this whole process of hours and hours and hours of watching film and scouting people, right? Knowing if kids can play, whether it's draft, whether it's preseason, whatever it may be. And then as a head coach, your job is to make sure these dudes gel together. Your job is to make sure you get out all the distractions and all that, right? Whenever we talk in the locker rooms and all that after the game, people be like, dang, he sound like the head coach. Because that we echo in the head coach, right? So now with you doing this, bringing in a guy, you didn't tell Mike, you didn't tell Dak, who gotta soften up all them wounds? The head coach, and he didn't create none of that. So now he has the locker room, he has all this, and we have a really good football team, and you done traded for a guy and you ain't told nobody? So now I may have to answer some questions. My quarterback may come to me, hey, what this mean? Now I'm answering all this stuff strictly because of what the owner did, and you didn't even talk to the guys that do all the work for you. Come on, Jerry, you can't do that. That ain't the right way. You're not going to win that way.
That's the price you pay to work in Dallas.
You ain't going to win that way, Joy.
James, I've been saying it for a long time. They think I'm crazy. They think I've got this tinfoil hat on. It's right there in front of you. There's a way to do things that generates winning. There's collaboration. If you run an organization, Shady, you have a big corporation, right? Are you going to do all the jobs? Are you going to hire people who are excellent at what they do and allow them to do it? You oversee them, of course. You got to check in, tap in every once in a while, but you let people do your job.
Right.
That's not what happens in Dallas. This is not surprising to me. This has been going on for so long. This is the least. What happened? Jerry just made a move and didn't tell the coach? I mean, how many of these headlines could you pull up? This is how it goes. If you're going to work in Dallas, the buck stops with Jerry. And he's also, not only does it stop with Jerry, he's going to make sure everyone knows that it stops with me. I did this, we did this, we didn't ask anybody, we did it, period, and what? I own the team. I run this team, I make all the decisions. I don't have to consult with my head coach. Why would I consult with my offensive head coach that's going to have to develop Trey Lance, that's going to have to explain to Dak Prescott, that's going to have to work him into a scheme? What does all that matter? I want Trey Lance. And who cares about this 4th-round pick that might help us next year?
I don't know why I had a little hope that Jerry was changing, right?
What told you that?
Because you see Mike come in there and have success.
A lot of
Then
it.
you see some of the draft picks that they take and all that, right? And you see it's kind of the scouting department. It's Coach Mike. Like, these are the players we need, right? Then you see when Mike first came over there, it was Kellen Moore is untouchable. right? This dude must be here, right? Mike, I took the job knowing that Kellen Moore must call the play, be the OC. Now, Coach Mike is like, nah. I'm back 12-win seasons. I got this thing. Let me do it, right? And Jerry say, kind of whatever you need. Boom, we got it. We get Kellen Moore out, right? So you thought like everything was like, okay, hey, they communicating over there in Dallas. They got a really good roster. They doing things the right way over there, right? We talked about this topic yesterday, and I know all four of us thought Mike had something to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Or Mike even knew something about it. And for this to come out like it was just Jerry, this is crazy.
But remember, and Joy, you might have to correct me if I'm wrong, it was last season when Dak Prescott gets hurt. And Jerry Jones goes to the podium and says, before Mike McCarthy even knows, he goes to the podium and says, hey, Dak's going to be out for weeks. Yeah. Mike McCarthy's like, wait, he is? Then if y'all recall, I believe it was maybe before the New York Giants game. I think that was a Sunday night or a Monday night game, a primetime game. And Jerry says, man, I hope Cooper Rush gives us a quarterback dilemma.
Oh, yeah.
And Mike McCarthy's like, wait, what?
I'm saying he got an
iron. And so Mike McCarthy has continually been surprised by things Jerry Jones has done.
But, why this part is so confusing for me is because I can see you doing things like Jason Garrett, right? For a while, he was the puppet. You know, I can see that. But I get why he's that. I get why that is. Ex-player, et cetera. You know, they have a great career. Yep. Right. But Mike McCarthy is a Super Bowl winner. I remember when they got him to come to Cowboys, I said, you know what? I like that move.
Yeah, sure.
Because he's been around good quarterback play. He's been around good winning football. And he's got a championship.
But, Shady, let me remind you one of my favorite quotes, relationships end how relationships begin. How did the relationship with Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones begin? Mike McCarthy, who is best known for calling plays, won a Super Bowl with James Jones as a play caller. He didn't have the authority to call plays. Jerry Jones said, I'm keeping Kellen Moore as my OC, and Kellen Moore is calling plays. Yeah. How did the relationship with Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones begin? It began with deceit.
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy said, all year in my off year, I was in the basement watching tape, watching film. After he got hired, he was like, okay, I may have exaggerated just a little bit. So remember how the entirety of the relationship began.
How's the media in Dallas? I'm being serious. Is it tough?
I worked for the Cowboys for 2 years, for Cowboys media, and they are tough, but they are also understanding because they've been around for 20 and 30 years, most of them.
Now, Philadelphia, not to brag about, but that media is tough. They're going to ask tough questions. And that'll be one of the questions like, well, how are you the head coach, but you're not aware of who's getting traded or what picks you trading or what players you're getting? And you calling the plays. Yeah. I would want to know that question because you know why, Joey? Because in the locker room, especially as a coach and a player, it's like the respect. It's like the trust. Where, okay, if we made a trade, well, coach, dang, why we do that? You think we need more of this? You had them conversations, but what answer can you give me? Because you don't even know.
Well, it's the same.
We've normalized this, though. Like, we love Jerry.
I do love Jerry. He's one of my favorites.
Jerry is responsible for changing the course of NFL from a business perspective. You can't tell the story of the NFL without Jerry Jones. But there is an element of control that you need to submit as an owner to people who do their job well, which Mike McCarthy has proven he's been able to do. He's won a Super Bowl. That's hard to do.
Extremely.
He worked with one of the biggest talents that this game has ever seen. That's difficult to do. But to your point, I mean, this is what it was. This is an understanding when you take this job that Jerry is the one who, at the end of the day, is going to make the calls, and he might just make a call without consulting you. What's the saying?
That's not the right way.
Relationships end how relationships begin?
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Shame on you.
Fool me once, shame on you.
Shame on you.
Fool me twice, shame on me. For getting fooled.
It's saying down in Texas. I think it's somewhere else also down in Texas.
You can't do that.
What it is. Yeah, we know
you
what
don't
this
have
is.
the answer, Sway.
You don't have
This should be
that.
the least surprising headline that we will have all year. Jerry Jones has done something that he consulted no one on, and it is going to change the course of the Dallas Cowboys' future.
I don't know if it's the Texas saying, Joy. I just think George Bush said it.
No, I'm joking. I'm poorly quoting George Bush, poorly quoting a very, very well-known quote. That's what just happened.
Bush. Yeah. Great quote.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.